Biometric scan confirmed. Proceed. Hello, billionaires. A 100-ton door sliding closed. A man walking down a pure white corridor with no doors. A skeleton key turning in a lock that looks 500 years old. A vault door with no handle at all. Today, we are going to unlocking the knowledge of the secrets of the world's most guarded vaults. Hold your vault. There are approximately 4,000 vaults on this planet holding something valuable. Gold, art, data, but there are maybe 10 that hold something else. They hold the answers to questions we haven't even thought to ask yet. The montage stops abruptly on a freeze frame of a massive circular vault door. And in 5 of them, if you go in alone, you don't come out. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Elite Vault. Today, we are leaving the surface world behind. We are going underground, behind steel, and past guards who have never had to fire their weapons, but are trained to kill in under 3 seconds. We are breaking into the world's most guarded vaults, not to steal from them, but to understand why humanity is so terrified of losing what's inside. Before we start, let me clarify something. A vault isn't just a room with a lock. A vault is a system designed to fail. What do I mean by that? Every vault has one weakness, the person trying to get in. So modern vaults don't just stop you, they actively try to kill you. Those oxygen sensors, motion detectors, floor pressure plates. We are looking for places where the security is so intense, so paranoid, that the owners refuse to even confirm the location. Today, we have 4 stops. A frozen mountain in Norway, a limestone cave in Pennsylvania, a bunker in the Kentucky countryside, and a library with no windows in Rome. Let's start with the one that keeps the world from starving. Establishing shot of the Svalbard archipelago. Snow, mountains, the northern lights. Svalbard, Norway 78 degrees north. This is Longyearbyen, Norway, the northernmost town on Earth with a population over 1,000. It is dark for 4 months straight. It is so cold that it's illegal to be buried here, because the ground is permanently frozen and bodies won't decompose. And 3 miles outside of town, buried inside a sandstone mountain, is humanity's agricultural insurance policy. The triangular entrance of the seed vault jutting out of the ice. Slow zoom in. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault. You've probably heard of it, but you haven't heard the real story. Let's go inside. Declassified footage of the tunnel. The camera moves 120 meters into the mountain, past 3 separate blast-proof doors. To get to the seeds, you have to go through a long, ice-covered tunnel. At the end, you reach a cold storage unit kept at a permanent minus 18 degrees Celsius. Inside are nearly 1.3 million seed samples. Every major crop on Earth has a backup here. Rice from Asia, wheat from the Middle East, ancient corn varieties from the Americas that haven't been grown in 500 years. Rows and rows of sealed seed packets in colorful boxes. But here's what the documentaries don't tell you. The vault was built to be doomsday proof. It was supposed to remain frozen even if the power failed, thanks to the permafrost. But in 2016, something happened that the designers never accounted for. Dramatic reenactment or stock footage of water dripping, ice forming. The permafrost didn't freeze. It melted. Warm water poured into the 100-meter tunnel and flash froze, turning the entrance into a wall of solid ice. The seeds were safe. They were deeper inside. But the message was terrifying. We built a vault to protect us from the end of the world, and the world is already breaking into it. Archival footage of scientists assessing the damage. The Norwegian government spent $20 million upgrading the vault after that. Better pumps, waterproof walls. They realized that the threat isn't the apocalypse. The threat is Tuesday. And if Tuesday gets a little warmer, the backup plan fails. The vault entrance receding as the camera pulls away. But the seeds are safe for now, which is good, because if we ever need them, it means things have gone very, very wrong. If Svalbard protects our food, this next place protects our money. But it's not a bank. It's a military installation. Everyone knows the name, Fort Knox. It's become a metaphor for anything impenetrable. But what's actually inside? And could you actually get in? The outside of the depository. It's a squat, Art Deco-style building made of granite and concrete. Guards patrol the perimeter. The U.S. Bullion Depository holds roughly 147 million ounces of gold. At today's prices, That's around $280 billion. But here's the thing. The gold isn't even the most valuable thing in there. Animations showing the vault door. It weighs over 20 tons. The vault door itself is blast-proof. It's set into a steel and concrete structure that can withstand direct bombing runs, but the door is just the beginning. To open it, multiple members of the depository staff must dial separate combinations. And here's the creepy part. No single person knows the full combination. The codes are broken into pieces and memorized by different people. They never write them down. Historical black and white footage of gold bars being moved in the 1930s. Inside, the gold isn't stored in small bars you can lift. These are massive bricks weighing 400 troy ounces each, about 27 pounds. There are over 4,500 of them stacked like cordwood, and they haven't been moved since the 1950s. Aerial shot of the surrounding military base. But the real security isn't the door or the gold. It's the fact that Fort Knox is surrounded by the United States Army. The 16th Cavalry Regiment is based right there. If you try to approach, you'll be met by armed Humvees, attack helicopters, and soldiers who have exactly zero tolerance for trespassers. And here's a secret the government doesn't advertise. The gold inside Fort Knox hasn't been fully audited since 1974. When a team of journalists and congressmen were allowed inside that year, they were shown one vault compartment. Just one. The rest remained sealed. To this day, there are conspiracy theories that the gold isn't there anymore, that it's been sold or borrowed against or replaced with tungsten bars. The U.S. Treasury insists the gold is there, but they won't let you count it. Quick flash of the Fort Knox gates closing. So the most famous vault in America might be empty, or might hold $280 billion. We just have to trust them. From gold, we move to something far more valuable: information. About an hour north of Pittsburgh, there's a town called Boyers. And underneath Boyers, there's a limestone mine, but it's not a mine anymore. The entrance to Iron Mountain, a tunnel leading into darkness. This is Iron Mountain. It's a record storage facility. That sounds boring, right? Like a warehouse full of old tax documents, but Iron Mountain is anything but boring. Because this vault holds the original copies of some of the most famous films, documents, and secrets in human history. Inside the vault, rows upon rows of film canisters, stacked floor to ceiling, stretching as far as the eye can see. 220 feet underground, protected by limestone, concrete, and armed guards, Iron Mountain stores the master negatives of movies like The Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind, and Casablanca. But that's just the Hollywood stuff. Watergate tapes, Kennedy assassination films. The National Archives also stores their most sensitive materials here. The original Warren Commission documents, the unedited Zapruder film, presidential records that won't be declassified for another 50 years. This is where history goes to sleep. A massive, circular door with a ship-style locking wheel. But here's the engineering marvel. This facility is built to survive an electromagnetic pulse, an EMP. If a nuclear bomb went off in the atmosphere and fried every computer, every hard drive, every digital device on the eastern seaboard, Iron Mountain would be fine. Why? Because the government knows that in a post-apocalyptic world, the only proof of what happened will be physical. Paper, film, analog. They are preserving the truth for a future that might not have electricity. Slow pan across temperature and humidity monitors. The vaults are kept at a precise 35 degrees Fahrenheit and 35% humidity. If the power goes out, there are backup generators. If the generators fail, there are more backup generators. If those fail, the limestone itself maintains a stable temperature for weeks. And deep inside, past the movie reels and the government files, there's a private vault. It holds trade secrets. The original formula for Coca-Cola is rumored to be here. The recipe for KFC's 11 herbs and spices. The source code for software that runs the global economy. Iron Mountain is the Library of Alexandria, except we built it inside a mountain so it doesn't burn down. Aerial shot of St. Peter's Basilica, then panning to a nondescript entrance behind massive walls. Our final stop is the most controversial, the most mysterious, and the most heavily guarded vault in the religious world. The Vatican Secret Archives. The name alone conjures images of conspiracies, cover-ups, and forbidden knowledge. And the truth, it's even stranger than the fiction. The entrance to the archives. a massive wooden door with multiple locks. First, let's clear something up. Secret in this context doesn't mean classified. It comes from the Latin secretum, meaning private. These are the Pope's personal archives. They've been collected for nearly 1,000 years, and they are vast. Artistic recreations, or stock footage of ancient documents, scrolls, illuminated manuscripts. We're talking 53 miles of shelving. Some documents date back to the 8th century. They have letters from Michelangelo complaining about payment for the Sistine Chapel. They have the trial records of the Knights Templar, complete with confessions extracted under torture. They have a letter from a 16th century Chinese emperor asking the Pope to send more missionaries. It's a historian's dream. A map showing the fortified tower, where the most sensitive documents are kept. But there's a part of the archives that no one enters, not even the prefect, the head archivist. It's called the Room of Tears, and it is said to contain the most explosive documents in church history. The Room of Tears has one key. It's held by one man, the Pope. When a new Pope is elected, he is brought to this room and given the key. What's inside? Officially, the Vatican won't say. Unofficially, rumors have persisted for centuries. Some say it contains the full, unredacted text of the Third Secret of Fatima, the 1917 prophecy that predicted the assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II, and allegedly something worse that hasn't happened yet. Black and white footage of the Fatima visionaries, Lucia, Francisco, and Jacinta. When the Vatican finally released the Third Secret in 2000, many skeptics claimed it was incomplete. They said the original document, handwritten by Sister Lucia, was longer. They said it described the end of the papacy or the destruction of Rome. The Vatican denied this, but they never let anyone see the original. It remains locked in the Room of Tears. The outside of the Apostolic Palace at night. Lights are on in one window. And it's not just Fatima. The room is rumored to hold documents on the Pope Joan legend, the true story of the Borgias, and correspondence between Pius XII and Hitler. Whether any of this is true is impossible to verify, because no journalist, no historian, no outsider has ever been inside. So what do we take away from all this? We've seen a mountain full of seeds, a bunker full of gold, a cave full of history, and a library full of secrets. And they all have one thing in common. They were built because we are afraid. Montage of all 4 locations, crossfading into each other. Afraid of famine, afraid of economic collapse, afraid of losing our memory, afraid of the truth. These vaults are the physical manifestation of human anxiety. They are our insurance policies against the end of days. And the scariest part? They might not be enough. Svalbard is melting. Fort Knox won't open its doors. Iron Mountain is betting on analog, and the Vatican is betting on silence. If you could put one thing in a vault to survive the apocalypse, what would it be? A memory? A book? A person? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to join me next time as we break into the places they don't want us to see, hit that subscribe button. It's the only key you'll need. If you are like my explanation, please subscribe with your $1 billion. Love you all. Thank you. Relieved face.